Welcome back to Intentional Parenting at Mariners Church. I am really thrilled about today's conversation because we are going to get so practical in a very complicated situation, all right? So today I'm joined with Catherine, who's our kids pastor, and Steve Bangley, who leads our North Irvine congregation. And the reason it's going to be complicated is because both of them have two working parents in the home, as well as multiple kids in multiple schools. So values are really great ideas until they become principles and actions, and ultimately actions that make your calendar. Today is insightful, it is fun, it's illuminating, and actually it's going to provide so much comfort for those of us who have multiple kids. We're driving all around town and we are still trying to be intentional parents. So buckle up. This is a really, really fun one. I hope you enjoy. Well, welcome to episode 3, where we're talking all about parenting here at the church, and I am so excited that you are back and joining us. Today, I have some of my dearest work friends, people that I have worked so closely with for the last several years. We have Catherine, who is kids pastor here at Irvine, absolutely crushing it.
Come on now.
One of the most relational,
Yes.
volunteer-driven type leaders
Absolutely.
on the planet.
Yep.
You have a rare gift of really being able to connect with kids, leaders, and parents. Like you span all of that, which is what makes you such a great ministry leader. I'll let you say hi in just a second.
Yes.
We also have Steve Bangley.
Joy to be here.
A joy to be here.
It really is.
Lead pastor of our North Irvine congregation. The dude's a stud. Teaching pastor with our church. Have been so blessed by your knowledge of God's word, your contribution to our position papers, and all the things that you have done to support Eric and also what you're doing at North Irvine.
Thank you.
Amazing.
I'm so glad I paid you a little under the table. To say all those nice things. Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Catherine paid me more, but that's all right. That's all right.
She always
Okay,
does.
so Steve Bangley, we're going to go with Bang.
Go with
Because I really like that. And also because Catherine's husband's name is Steve. So we don't want to cause any confusion, any confusion
Clarity
here.
is kindness.
Clarity is so kind.
It really is. So, okay. So Bang, why don't you give us just a little rundown, family makeup, how long you've been married, how many kids you have, the list. I couldn't remember them all.
Absolutely. So been married 16 years. We have 15 going 16 kids. I'm playing. 4 kids. He's going to become a teenager this month.
Amazing.
13.
Oh, gosh.
Daughter turning 10 next week. And then a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. So 4 kids.
So how many schools are you in right now?
2.
Okay. 2 different schools. Week.
It was 3. Okay.
Okay.
Praise be to God, we're at 2.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Hello, Catherine. Thank you so much for the kind word, Jared. It's such an honor to work with you too.
Of course.
Yes, I've been married to my wonderful husband, Steve, for 16 years as well. So not to be confusing, but yes, 16 years. I have a high schooler who is 14. I have a junior higher who is turning 12. And then I have one in elementary with me, which makes me cry. She's 7 years old, but all 3 girls and managing all in different phases of life.
Isn't that crazy? So, okay. So you have 3 kids, 3 different schools. That's wild.
It's crazy.
And then 4 kids, 2 schools. And 2 kids, 2 schools. So we are a whole school district here, which is pretty exciting.
And we are exhausted. We have not slept.
Very fair, very fair. Well, I'm curious, just before we get into any bigger topics today, just what is happening in your home right now? Like, what's the current state of things? What's God teaching you? What's been a moment of joy? What's been a moment of I'm holding on to Jesus because of whatever's happening?
Wow. For me, Jared, you're walking in this too, is we're having a high schooler. It's such a different phase of like parenting. So much of it is releasing and trusting that everything you did up until this point, she's able to make the right decisions. But so much joy in watching my daughter like really, really live out her calling. Even the school that she asked for us to send her to, she was very intentional and prayerful about the school that she wanted to go to and be part of. And so seeing her live that out is incredible, but also at the same time, I'm learning, man, I don't know how to raise a teen very well because I like to control what my children are doing. And so learning to surrender so much in this phase of, okay, she's learning to become an adult. I gotta let her go. I gotta trust the things that I taught her, my husband and I taught her until now is good, and a lot of grace on her and myself to be like, okay, it's all about the communication, the coaching, more than me telling her what to do.
You're so right. So our kids are at the same school.
Yes.
We have freshmen at the same new school, of which our North Irvine campus beats
Great.
that. So.
We have 3 services on Sunday.
But it's a very real thing. And I'm actually curious where you're at with this. You have a 13-year-old, you just said, right? Where you're figuring out, these are the years where you're sort of banking on what you've already taught. There's been a level of correction and direction. And now that word you used was really smart, coaching. You're going to let them sort of step out there. They're going to have to do some things, figure out, okay, you forgot that book for school. I'm not driving back. You're going to have to figure out how to make a checklist so tomorrow morning you don't forget it, you know? That's easier said than done though, isn't it?
So much. Yeah, it's very hard. I didn't know how controlling I was until I had a high schooler.
Wow.
That's amazing. There's more there. We could totally get into that. We'll come back. We'll see if that's a theme here today. What about for the Bang Lee family?
Well, like a year ago, we fully came out of diapers. So we're just singing
Dude, you're
praise
good.
songs to Jesus 24/7. No, but I think we're feeling a little bit of that tension too, because the 13-year-old, on the one hand, he's still like a kid, but he's starting to kind of push that boundary a little bit. So learning what it means to, okay, let's collaborate a little bit more. We're still going to be directive. We're still going to be mom, dad telling you what to do. You're still not, let's get through puberty. But at the same time, starting to make that little transition from, man, all of our kids aren't little babies anymore. Like we're starting to have to let go even a little bit. And so I'm right behind you guys.
Were you do you have siblings?
I do.
And where are you in the age gap?
I'm
there?
the oldest.
Oh, you are. Okay. So what does that do as you are the oldest as well? I'm an only child. Don't.
And I'm the oldest by my younger brother. I'm almost 6 years older than him.
Oh, wow.
So I'm used to winning,
Yes.
winning big,
Yes.
and dominating.
Okay. So does being the oldest change the way you view your oldest?
1000%.
How does it impact that?
There's great sympathy,
Okay.
and I let him know, hey, I know what it's like to be an older sibling. Now, I don't know what it's like to be an older sibling to 3 other younger siblings,
Sure.
but I understand the pressure.
Right.
But on the flip side, I tell him, hey, here's the great thing about being the oldest sibling. You get more freedom, you get more privileges. Right. We're going to mess up on you. We'll pay for your therapy later, but you get more benefits as well. So it's constantly reminding him of what he has as opposed to what he doesn't have.
Yeah. Amazing. Has that been a reality for you too?
Absolutely. And I think it's so funny. Even when I was dating, I wanted to marry an oldest because I wanted to make sure my husband understood what it meant to like be the leader of the
right?
family.
Wow.
He's not the oldest, but like praise the Lord, God made sure that I had exactly who I needed.
Yeah.
But I do have a lot of sympathy for my oldest daughter, but also let her know she has so many privileges.
Yes.
I think they sing a song that they heard on the internet of like oldest gets all the new things, the middle one, makes peace in the house, and then the baby gets away with like anything they want. So there's just some song that they sing and they laugh all the time about it. But every day we have to do this thing called 5 things we do in the drive to school when we do drop offs, because their natural state is always there's more things to complain about than being grateful for.
Wow.
And so we have to be like, what are the 5 things you're grateful for?
Wow.
And one of the things for my oldest is, can you be grateful for being the oldest?
Wow.
And it's really hard though. It's hard. There's a lot of responsibilities.
It's amazing me to hear you talk about giving such sympathy and talking about the privilege. I can't imagine you don't put any pressure on the oldest though too, right? As I put, there's a little bit of that in our household. I look at him and it's, we have an older son and then the daughter is the younger one. And so there's an element of not only being the oldest, but hey, that's your younger sister. Let's treat with kindness and respect. Let's model, let's practice. And he's a 14-year-old boy, so it doesn't always go perfectly, but there's a little more pressure there. You guys are making me feel like I'm the only one that does that.
Oh no.
Oh no. There's so much. I mean,
Okay, make me feel better.
Yeah. I mean, I was just saving the list of things. So we always say like the baby, we call her the baby, even though she's not the baby. Like you're in charge of yourself. Second one, you're in charge of 1. The oldest, you're in charge of 2 other siblings.
Okay.
But the privilege is her, what is it when you get paid at the end? Sometimes the
Allowance?
worst. Yes, your allowance. Your allowance. She gets the most because she has so much responsibilities
wow.
compared to the baby who has only taking care of herself.
What's that parable of the vineyard?
Yes.
It's shocking how they all got paid the same. Not in Catherine's household,
No.
though.
No, It's a talent. It's a talent.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
There's a
verse,
different
that verse.
parable.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
The word must be central.
Well, it's just it's so fun to sit with a couple who both have two working parents in the home, right? So full-time careers on both sides. Bang has a wife who is a doctor. That's incredible. And then,
And she's not full time. She is per diem.
right.
So she'll work anywhere from 1 to 3 days a week.
Okay. But her 3 days is like your 9 days, right?
1,000.
Yeah, she's super
Yes.
super talented.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And then Steve's in higher education.
Yes.
Right. So, I mean, these are big time things. This isn't, I have a blog on the side. It's like a real gig.
Yes.
And you got multiple kids and multiple schools. So I wanted today to have a conversation where we could really get into the nitty gritty of planning and scheduling and really figuring out how do we match the values we want for our home with what actually happens on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis. All right. So just to set it up, as you guys are thinking about your own homes and your own process, the conversations that you have with your spouse, how do you think about the attachment of the value that you have, whatever that is? We want to be a family that is forgiving or honest or loving, a family that has quality time together, whatever your values are. Okay, how does that actually make its way to the calendar? And if that's too hard, you can go the other direction. You can say, let me talk about my calendar and let's see what that reveals around our values. So to get you started, either one, what's your relationship just with scheduling and planning? You have the control, not complex, that might be a little unfair, but you've self-declared that control is a thing. So
She has the
Catherine,
gift. She
I
has
have
the
the
gift.
gift
the
of
spiritual
making
gift.
sure.
Okay, so talk to us just about what is your relationship with scheduling and planning, and then what is Steve's involvement in all that?
Yeah, I would say, I think when they were younger, a huge value of ours was that one of us would be home.
Okay.
And that was a value, thank the Lord, that we were able to have when the kids were babies. But that was like a really short time when they were just babies. Since then, we both knew we both wanted to work. And so if we're going to do that, a value that we put is, my husband also was in ministry. And so like one of us would be working on the weekends and one of us would not be. So that was like one thing. And then that being, we're going to put church always in the center of our home. And so the girls, when they're growing up, biggest value is you're going to serve somewhere.
Yes.
Even if when you're a kid, I will give you opportunities
Right.
to serve
Yes.
as a child. And so they always saw us serving. So we start our schedules. We do it on Sunday.
Okay.
So we started on the Sunday and then we'll go through the week. So we have an app. We use an
Yes.
app as well as a physical calendar.
Great.
And then we have a check-in date because the calendar changes. And with multiple school calendars and drop-offs and holidays, like we need to actually write out who's dropping off and who's picking up and who's doing this weird thing in Irvine where everybody gets out half days on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And
on
so
Fridays.
Oh yeah, the high school home on Fridays, so weird. Yes, and so Friday we'll go through our family schedule, and then right now no one's driving in the home other than
Right.
us two, and so figuring out driving time even is in our calendar, and then we color code it by whose event it is right now.
Incredible.
It's helpful that my oldest now is able to be on the app in high school, but until
That's so cool.
then. Like the kids all had colors, but it was only me and my husband figuring out the color,
Right.
which was really, really hard because we didn't allow them to have like phones. And
Yeah, sure. Okay, so what's the app that you use?
we use? It's called Family Wall.
Okay.
And then the great thing is if you do Google Calendar, it automatically syncs in. So like we used to do only Google Calendar, but the problem it was because I think we use it for work and everything.
Yes.
It just got so big.
Yes.
It became like 4,000 things on that calendar and it was overwhelming me. So we use Family Wall. I think there's a lot of different ones that you can subscribe to, but that's the one that's been working this year, especially with Evelyn in high school.
Yeah. Okay, so that app is really helpful. Each of your daughters has a color
Yes.
so that you can kind of map out who's where and when. I love that you
Yes.
incorporated drive time. That's a real thing in our world. It may not be true everywhere, but for us, I mean, it's a minimum 15 minutes, probably going to be closer to 30, depending on when and where you're going. So you have to keep that in mind in there. And then it allows you guys to have a Sunday meeting and then a midweek check-in, it sounds like you have as well,
Yes.
because things change.
Change all the time.
And a paper calendar.
The paper one is for the kids. Yeah.
Okay, right, because they're outside of technology right
Correct. So they can actually own their own schedules. And then it really helps too, because the reality is we need help. And so thank God I have the church who sometimes will help me. Like my friends will help with the pickup sometimes. Sometimes my mom will come in town. And so then the paper one also helps them to know who's doing what.
Right.
And then we could put on actually our app, oh, Miss whoever is actually picking you up. So then they
nice.
can see that as well.
That's good. Wow, that's incredible. Are you that sophisticated?
I haven't used the calendar in 6 months. No, there's a lot of overlap, but I think one adjustment is, so Angie and I, she's like the brilliant calendar manager planner. But one of the frictions that we were running into is, there would be times when we want to do the check-in, and I'm like, okay, 7 p.m. I'm done. I'm crawling into bed.
Yep.
And so I told her, hey, we need something. We need another tool, like not just the check-in. We need something else at a different time. And one of the places where we spend the most amount of time with the kids is in the kitchen area, right? So not only dinner, but we're doing the cleanups, and a lot of conversation is happening. But I felt like we were missing. There was a great window of time with energy that we were missing. So we ordered this thing off Amazon. It's like a magnet calendar, and we literally manually put in.
Yep.
She does.
Yeah.
I get credit for it. and so that way, if I go, hey, what's going on tomorrow? She goes, look at the fridge.
Right.
Look at the fridge. That's been helpful.
That's good.
It has been helpful.
And you can get a snack when you're over there.
Yes.
Great. So many snacks. Greek yogurt, tons of protein, all that stuff.
That's amazing. Okay, so that's really helpful, right? Just the tools with it. At our house, it's just the Google Calendar, and I can always tell when it's the things that Kim has added to my calendar because they always have emojis of some form. If it's soccer practice, there's a soccer ball.
That's
if it's
great.
a birthday party, it has a
That's so
roller
great.
skate. It really pops off on my
Yes.
calendar. But we're only 2 kids; it's less complicated, right?
It's so complicated.
Okay, so how? Before we get to the values portion of this, I am curious. How do you prevent yourself from, on a date night, it becoming a business meeting? You know what I mean? Like, what is it? It sounds like, Bang, you have the outlet for it where you've kind of used the cooking preparation, cleaning time to sort of double up on how to make a little more purpose behind that. We can check in, we can write on the calendar as we're doing that. Does it ever drift into date nights and it can be a problem for you guys?
Of course. But that's where I can be so obtuse sometimes. I just say, babe, I just don't want to talk about the kids right now.
Sure. Okay. Not just the calendar, the kids.
I meant to say calendar, but the truth came out. The truth just came out. Yeah, I'll just say, can we just not talk about this right now?
Yeah.
Another thing that's been helpful that it's a recent discovery, but those short little one-night trips, actually carving out 2 hours during brunch, saying, as we pour into our marriage, let's do like 3 months worth of planning.
Yeah, it's great.
It has been so fruitful.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Kim and I, we were just recently driving out to Palm Springs for a night.
Very nice.
And we both had lists on our phones of the things we wanted to talk about. So the drive out there was, okay, what is on your list and what's on mine?
my
And we
gosh.
we just hadn't been away together in so long
Yes.
that we literally had lists and we had to go, oh, that's on mine too. Okay, great.
And the funny thing is, by doing that, you can actually enjoy the time more.
Yes.
Right? Because you knocked out some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we're all so achievement based, aren't we?
No, but I understand when you have young kids, you can't do that. I mean,
Yes.
I feel like all of us just finally got into a phase where we can go overnight, or the oldest maybe can potentially watch for a couple hours. But when you have young kids, it was so hard. So like couples that were really thriving and doing this is they would work out. They would go to the
Wow.
gym together
Wow.
and sit on the
That's
sauna.
real commitment.
Yeah, that's like maximizing too. You're working out and then you're talking about
Next level.
Yeah, that is like date night for them, just trying to figure out, because then the gym had, I think, childcare. So too, like it was
Jeez.
maximizing like crazy.
Let's
so
go.
there's ways to figure it out, like on date nights where you're not talking about
Sure.
kids, and maximize your time.
No, that's really good. So one of the themes from the gathering that we had was work on and work in. You're talking, Catherine, I think you're so right. The busyness of the young years, it's just the urgency of just, I have to change this diaper. We have got to get these kids fed. Everything feels hectic and chaotic. That's not the time to go, hey, so what do you think about, the future of any kind? When you have spit up in one hand and the other kid's screaming and crying, that's not the time to work on the family. Bang, you talked about really taking time to think in the future, to go like, hey, here's where we're going with this. Let's bring the values idea into this a little bit. So as you think about working on the family, again, it's taking a break. It's stepping back. It might be a night away. It might be just an hour after the kids go to bed. It might be getting up early in the morning. Some families will do that, right? But really, it's about separating our time from the kids and going, let's talk about our family. And then we'll get to how does that reflect itself in the calendar. So have either of you done that, where you really take time and think, okay, where are we going as a family? What are the things that matter most to us? What are the stories that we want people to tell about our family? And how do you find time to discuss that? Do you have a thought?
It's going to sound like I'm speaking out of both sides of my mouth, but on Friday mornings, not every Friday morning, we'll take a long hike together.
Oh, I'm aware.
I know, we ran into you, and this guy's sprinting uphill,
No.
like 100 miles an hour.
Thanks,
It's
I'll be
unbelievable.
in my worst. I came over this hill. I am sweating. I'm dying. I'm like a little worried I don't have an oxygen tank with me.
Uh-oh.
He wasn't stopping. He was doing push-ups. He paid me under
That's
the
not
table
true.
to say
He's
this.
holding hands with Angie. They're holding hands together. They're just smiles on their face. I could see you're bettering your family.
Yeah, and you know, I'm a futurist.
Okay.
So there are times when I'm like, babe, I don't want to talk about planning right now. And then there are times in that hike when I'm like, hey, I want to talk about X, Y, and Z. So for example, Isaiah turning 13, I read, Intentional Father by John Tyson and marking a moment when his son turned 13. And so a couple months out, I told her, I want to mark a moment with Isaiah. And I was trying to build it out with her, and she's like, I don't want to plan right now. So I think utilizing those hikes when it makes sense.
That's great.
It's been great.
Have you done a moment with him?
It's coming up. So his birthday's next week.
Oh,
so he's going to turn 13 next week.
Will you share a little bit what you're doing? What you're thinking?
Yeah. And I'll try to share it without being emotional.
Yeah, come on.
But inviting over, obviously, his uncle, my brother, his life group leader, his youth director at North Irvine,
Awesome.
2 men in our life group who have sons in his age group. I've asked them to prepare an affirmation in advance about what they see God doing in his life. So we're going to gather, first hour dinner, 30 to 45 minutes of affirmation and prayer time, concluding with me affirming him and praying over him. And then we're going to have dessert. And I'm trying to get a photographer and videographer. So if you guys know anyone, let me know.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That is so cool.
I can remember being a part of a moment, like a capstone moment like this with a 18-year-old. I mean, he's graduating high school. And right before he graduated, his dad gathered the men in his life who had meant something to him. And it was one of the coolest experiences just to get to be there. That's a thing that was a value for them.
Yeah.
That they went, it has to, and same for you, Bang. It has to be on the calendar. We're
Correct.
deciding this is when it's going to happen.
Correct.
This is who we're going to invite.
right.
That scheduling really does matter. And what I love about what Angie did is she said, you figure it out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
She delegated beautifully.
It's smart. It's good.
Empowerment.
Yeah.
So good.
I love it. Okay. So what about Catherine for you and Steve? Like how does the values make the calendar? How do you think about this is who we want to be as a family? And it really does make your very complex app to paper to smoke signals or whatever it is.
Oh man, I think for us, like we try really hard to keep it simple because Steve and I naturally like to complicate things. When we got married, we both were from a broken home, and so when we got married, we said the biggest thing we're gonna do is make sure that like our kids know that when relationships are hard, you have to work on it, but you have to surrender it to God. And so one of the values is like whenever there's broken things, we're going to try everything we do to restore it. So like
that's
we want
beautiful.
you to see the restoration, the forgiveness. So like,
Oh my gosh. That's
so
awesome.
like my husband actually is really great at it. He asks for forgiveness very easily from our kids. And so even with each other, so that's how do we make it in the calendar?
Yeah.
That portion is, man, we really need the church. Like we need service.
Come on.
We need
Yes.
we need to worship God, to repent, because I think if we're able to do it with God, it's so much easier to do with each other. So prioritizing, once again, I said it, like going to church was like a huge priority to us. So actually every life decisions we made in our marriage and having kids was based on what church we're going to actually attend.
And could I affirm that? Actually, I think a couple of weeks ago or months ago, you had a Sunday off, a weekend off, and you came to North Irvine. You visited with your family. It was extended prayer.
Wow.
And you pulled up Steven, I think one of your daughters, and you guys got prayed over for something.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
I see it. I saw it.
That's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So I think we try really hard to keep it simple by like, okay, we're going to go to church service. Where are you serving that weekend? And then after that, then we'll prioritize like what's the next thing that you focus on. For the kids, their job is education.
Mm-hmm.
For Steve and I, it's our job priorities.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we try to do this thing called Family Fun Day because like I value fun so much.
Yeah.
Steve's trying to
No.
get on board with it. It's only taken 16 years, but no, he's still trying to get on board with
Yeah.
it. So Family Fun is we'll pick something that's like fun for everybody.
Yeah, great.
The kids all have different personalities. Some person loves just reading books, so we'll go to the bookstore because that's
Sure.
what she loves. I want to do escape rooms, and so
Hilarious.
I mean, not the rest of the family, but me and Evelyn, we love escape rooms, and so yeah, we'll try to do those things. So then that goes on into the calendar. But
Yeah.
one of the things that I think our family values is excellence. Like whatever we do, we really want to do our best at it and be a leader. And so we notice our kids deciding a lot of their activities based on what leadership opportunities are given.
Interesting.
So that's really been cool to see. Evelyn like deciding on, okay, I'm going to spend my time making sure that there's like leadership opportunities happening. So even the second one now is in a leadership club. And so then we don't do the sports. We don't do the, those things anymore because I think for our family, we're not gifted at it. But at least the value portion you talked about, like if we're wanting excellence in leadership, we see it in the kind of the clubs that they pick, the opportunities that they're choosing, and the things we say yes to will drive you to.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
there's a lot in there. That's amazing. What I heard was there's a prioritization too to even how we make decisions. Church comes first.
Yes.
Then we're going to think about our job or education in the way that we fit those things in there. Fun's going to be a part of it. And then within all of it, there's this refinement of self-awareness that I'm sure is affirmed in the home, right? When a child starts to gravitate towards something that they're very good at, I can imagine you guys are helping keep pushing in that direction. But there's also the opposite, I'm sure, too, which is, hey, let's maybe try some new things, which is awesome, too.
Yeah.
It's an important part of growing up.
Yeah.
is.
I do wish we were more active and hiking like you guys, but no, we're going to sit and read.
You'll get there. It's good. It's good. Getting outside is a critical part of Fridays, at least
Yes.
that's
It
our
is.
day off.
It is.
So
Yep.
it's awesome. Okay, so let me ask this too, just as we're kind of winding down, as you think about your calendar, whether it's in a day, week, month, year, quarter, whatever, what are the recurring things that you see as patterns or rhythms that are really important to your family? I recognize church is probably one of the most obvious ones. Our families go to church. Our kids are in life groups. We're in life groups. Kids are serving on ministry teams. Got it. Okay, what are some of the other things outside of that that have just really appeared as regular on your calendars? Bang?
What comes to mind is, so not on the calendar, but daily, we try to have, daily dinner if possible.
Awesome.
Monthly,
How many times a week does it actually happen? 5, 4?
around there.
That's awesome.
4 or 5.
That's huge.
Yeah. And that's where, sometimes it's like someone's asking about basketball,
Sure.
but we're together.
Yeah.
So that's daily. Weekly, I'm going to go monthly. Daily, monthly, we have on the calendar kids' date on the
Okay.
first Saturday of every month.
Nice.
And it doesn't always get filled up, but when we spot a need, like someone's got to spend, can you spend more time with that kid?
So, okay. So it's a parent with one
Yes.
of the kids. Very cool.
Yeah. As needed. And then, at least once a year, we try to take a big family trip somewhere
Great.
Yeah.
and just totally unplug.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
One of the things I've watched Eric do with his daughters is he does like an annual trip with one of the girls.
Yes.
Man, I've like really, I tried it last year with Asher and it was so special. I'm like, okay, now let's get something going with Ellie. Because it just seems like such a great way to do it. But I like what you're saying. You're bringing it not just as grand as going on a trip together. It's when you see some need, when you notice that there's a little bit of a thing popping up with the child.
And having the monthly kid date on the calendar, it makes you more aware. Like you're almost,
course.
you're paying attention, Yeah, you pay attention differently.
Catherine, what are some things on your calendar that you notice show up all the time?
Oh man, it's something that we're always working on. It was a lot easier for me when the kids were smaller, just because like I think I was more in tune with the things that they were more interested in.
Yeah.
With Evelyn now, it's like hanging out with other teenagers, so I can't.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
I know, right? We do that. But I think one of the things that our mentors told us is divert daily, withdraw weekly, abandon annually.
Okay.
And that's with like your relationship with Jesus.
Yeah.
And so how do we try to do that with our family and each other if like the relationship we're trying to reflect? And so I feel like that's what I'm hearing from you guys is annually for their birthdays, they're given like choices of a trip or a
Awesome,
party.
right?
Cool.
And it's really cool that like we ask them to actually do every other.
Yeah.
We like encourage every other to be an annual trip
Yeah.
and then a party. So that's like the annual one. The weekly one is our family one, and then everyone takes a turn on what defines their fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then the divert daily one, man, that one is our car rides. I would say for me and Steve. Steve actually more than me. It's like the ride every day, drop off, and maybe that's why it's in our calendar because we value it so much. So the conversations of what's going on in your life, what is God doing in your life, what are you grateful for? And I feel like that's the one that we really try to do. And then I do these like 5 things every day for the kids in order to get their allowance.
Yeah.
One of those is they have to read their Bible. So
How dare you?
I know, right?
How dare you?
I? As a pastor?
Wait, you've referenced this before. I thought it was like they had to have 5 things they were grateful for. Is gratitude one of the things?
So there's 2 separate 5 things. So 5 things in the morning.
So there's 10 things.
Wow.
Hey, it's 5 things you're grateful for that you say in the car.
Okay,
ride.
gotcha.
And then 5 things when they get home from school. Those are kind of like the chores and the things.
Okay.
That's
And what are
guidance.
those? They're reading the Bible.
Yes, one's reading the Bible, is doing their homework. One is like, taking care of their stuff.
Sure.
Right? So put things back where it goes. And then one is like, reading.
Yep.
Extra reading, that's something that they like.
It's like Catherine's
It's
10
just-
Commandments.
It is Catherine's 5 commandments, actually.
No, the
It is
5 gratitude as well.
Well, that's one.
well,
that's
that's
one.
one.
I'm on
Okay,
Catherine's
okay,
side
Thank
here.
you, thank you,
All
thank
right.
you. Yeah. And so if they do all those 5 things, that's how they get their allowance. But,
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good. I wish I had more structure in my life.
Hey, even if you make the structure, the crazy part is like, I'm like, hey guys, we've been doing this for a decade. Why do I have to still repeat myself?
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Yeah, that was my conversation with my son this morning. Hey, come on, we've been doing this a while now.
Yeah.
But I think something that comes to mind, and you alluded to this in the car ride, is so there's the scheduling on the calendar, but I think there's also combining an action to something that happens daily. So like a car ride.
I agree.
Like there's a natural current of life and sliding in little pockets of intentionality. Not just how was school? Good, great.
Right.
But like there more could happen there.
Yes.
Right. So I'm thinking about the drive home. Like my daughter and I drove home after church at like 2:30, and we're walking to the car, and she's like, why is our car so far away? And that was a moment where I got to unpack some, hey, so when we serve people at church, this is
Yes.
one of the ways that we serve.
Yeah.
Then on the drive home, hey, what did you learn today at kids ministry? Right. So I think youth night, driving him back, there's little pockets of discipleship opportunities I think that exist.
I totally agree. To me, it's all about being present.
Yes.
It's recognizing that these little, like calendar aside, there's these little opportunities all the time. This is true in your marriage, in your family.
Everything.
It's true in your coworkers. It's true for yourself. To just know that there are these little invitations all the time to just be present with whatever is going on. My kind of takeaway on the daily is when I come in the door, I have this, like, it's not every single day, but I try. My first 15 minutes, I just think first 15 when I'm driving home, is I'm not going to be on my phone. I'm going to set my stuff down and I'm going to just check in with each person. Sometimes that's doesn't take long because they don't want to talk with me very much. Or other times it turns into a whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, we're playing catch outside, or my daughter's doing flips on the trampoline. And it's just this like, okay, it's turned into
great.
more than 15, you know?
Yeah.
Great.
But you got to decide getting into it before. This is important to me every day. I'm going to do this so that when I come home, they actually want me to come home.
That's right.
And one of the things that I love about parenting, I think the teen years, is there's a lot more negative energy. I don't know if I love it, but what I'm learning too is when they were younger, you're trying to like increase the gratefulness and the positivity, and you're kind of guiding that. A lot of times in this new season, I'm learning is, man, I get to minister to them or disciple them in this when they're not the best of themselves. So like, that's something that I feel like with parenting that I'm loving is when you're not your ideal self, or what, like you talk about serving all day on a Sunday and then seeing them, or in the morning, I'm shocked. Nobody's happy in the morning going to school. It's like, interesting. So I'm grateful that I get to capture them in this really hard place. And I think that could be a really intentional time to, like,
Of course.
not just have them when they're, not that we could ever just have them when they're happy, but when they're in their really hard seasons.
Yeah.
Being intentional in giving that extra time there.
Yeah. Well, this has been so fun. I'm so grateful for the two of you. I'm grateful that not only do I respect you each so deeply as pastors on our staff and people who are caring for large, your guys' responsibilities are huge, and the people that you serve and care for they're so, the benefit that they have of getting to know you two is incredible. And now, not that I haven't known how great parents you are, you're here for a reason. It does make me just really grow in my own appreciation for you guys. And as I think about the homes that you're creating, the families that you're raising, the intentionality, the thought that you guys have put into it, the commitment that you have, it's amazing. There's a lot more here. I can't wait to have you guys back on. We'll have a follow-up and then follow-up after that, and we'll keep digging into it. We should do a whole thing on, like, teenagers, because, like, this guy's right there with us. And so
Pray for me, y'all. Pray for me.
He's already doing better than I am, so I want to learn from him.
I mean, Jared's the pro with teenagers.
No,
like
Jared's
he
not.
is. He really is.
I still just am one, so the secret is just pretend
We
you
all are.
That's
the
why
real
I love
secret,
kids
right?
ministry.
Well, thank you both so much, and thank you so much for listening. Looking forward to having you back next time.